One of the great horror tropes. You look into a mirror and say his name, then he will come and murder you. Well, that doesn't sound like a very fun game. I think I'm going to stick to binging Netflix, but it seems that people have dug deeper into this horror story to make it even more terrifying. And with a new movie scheduled to come out maybe this year, who knows with coronavirus, there has never been a better time to take a deep dive into this character. So today we're going to be pulling back the veil to see what is on the horizon for this mystery. Hello, most amazing Top 10 family. I'm your host, Chad Reina, and today we are going to be counting down the top 10 scary Candyman theories. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell, and stick around until the end of this list because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. Coming in at number 10, we have the new movie will be about psychosis. From what we have seen so far with the movies that Jordan Peele has worked on is that there is always a pretty good twist, as is the secret with a lot of good horror movies. Well, some people have been pulling apart the trailer for the new Candyman movie, and it would seem that there is something different going on with this movie. The main character seems to be connected to Candyman in a way that is hinting towards him becoming Candyman. This could mean that the story will seem like it's about a supernatural killer on the rampage, killing anyone who is foolish enough to say his name 5 times into a mirror, but it could be the opposite, that Candyman is all something made up in his head and he is actually just killing people on his own accord. Well, I guess we will have to wait and see what happens in the movie after it comes out. Coming in at number 9, we have Candyman needs a host. Rolling off the same theory of the main character slowly becoming Candyman, what if this is more of a demonic possession story? It seems that throughout the trailer, the main character is obsessed with Candyman. He wants to have the whole world know about the story. This could be Candyman getting into his head because he is slowly taking over his body. Perhaps the only way the urban legend can take form is by taking over a person's body and using him as a tool to commit all these awful acts. It would be a cool new element to the legend. The idea that researching the horror would only bring you closer and quickly turn you into the thing that you are afraid of. Coming in at number 8, we have Eddie Murphy will be in the new movie. He's been gone for far too long. The people have been dying to see Eddie Murphy come back to the stage in some way. Whether it would be stand-up or in the movies, it would be great to have him back in action. Now, why has there been a rumor floating around that he is supposed to be in the new Candyman movie? Well, because in the original 1992 movie, he was supposed to play Candyman. That would have made the movie so different, and it would have been interesting to see the comedy legend venture into the horror genre. Something else backing this is that the expert comedy writer and brilliant mind behind Get Out, Jordan Peele, is going to be producing this movie. So with his pull in the comedy world, maybe he'll be able to pull Mr. Murphy in for a cameo. Coming in at number 7, we have Candyman will be more deadly in the new movie. I don't know if you guys know this, but Candyman was based on a story by Clive Barker called The Forbidden. In this story, it is much easier to bring the wrath of Candyman onto your soul. There was nothing about looking into a mirror and saying his name 5 times. The original monster wasn't so patient that he would wait for you to call him out. Instead, it was only a lack of faith that would bring on your doom. If for whatever reason you had doubt that the Forbidden was real, he would seek you out and kill you. That seems like a pretty harsh move just to get your point across, but I guess at the end of the day, you get the job done. I wonder how severe this would be. If it was your first time hearing about them and you were like, hey, let me just Google this really quick before I believe you, would he still kill you? I don't know. Coming in at number 6, we have Candyman is immortal. I feel like a lot of horror movies center around a group of people trying to stop or kill a big baddie from chopping them into pieces. I mean, how many people in Friday the 13th try to kill Jason, but they end up dead? That doesn't mean that Jason is unkillable. We saw in Jason X that he could be killed, but he also comes back as a super cool cyborg version of himself. Well, I don't know if the same would go for Candyman. It would seem that as long as people know he exists, then he will walk the earth. He has never shown any sort of weakness. Maybe smoke would work at slowing him down. Doesn't smoke make like bees drunk, and that's like part of his power is he uses bees or all that kind of stuff? So maybe smoke would just like make him chill out and he wouldn't try to kill anybody? Who knows? Either that or you have to destroy the memory of him, but how do you destroy a memory? Coming in at number 5, we have Baby Anthony. If you haven't seen the first Candyman movie, I will warn you that I'm about to hit you with some spoilers. Now, the first movie ends with the protagonist of the movie saving a young baby from a fire with the help of Candyman. Maybe he's not so bad after all. Now, this baby is named Anthony. In the new movie, the main character is also named Anthony. Some people speculate that this is indeed the same Anthony all grown up. That would make sense sense because the movie is supposed to be a direct sequel to the first movie. That would be an interesting bit of lore going into the next movie, and it would explain why the lead character in the movie has such a deep obsession with the character. Coming in at number 4, we have the new movie is a commentary on gentrification. The new movie and the old movie took place in Chicago's Cabrini Green. This was supposed to be a public housing project to help impoverished families get out of poverty, but due to poor public funding, a violent police presence, and racism towards black people trying to get access to loans and mortgages, the area turned into a slum. It was later torn down and turned into row houses, and the area has slowly been getting taken over by gentrification, forcing many of the people who used to live there out of the area. Now, the movie follows a well-off artist who's coming into the area and taking a piece of the culture to profit off of it. This could be the underlying message of the whole thing. Coming in at number 3, we have Candyman is an anti-hero. It's hard to think of a supernatural ghost man with a hook hand who kills people for just saying his name as a hero, but I have a pretty good argument for this one. See, the backstory of Candyman is that he was the son of a slave in the South. His father was able to become rich through a machine that he made, which could make shoes on a large scale. So his son grew up as one of the only black people in his neighborhood, but managed to win the respect of the people around him by being a gifted artist. One day, a plantation owner asked him to create a portrait of his daughter. He obliged, and in the time that he and the plantation owner's daughter were alone, they grew close and eventually fell in love. They started having a relationship in secret, which the father found out about. So he got an angry mob to chase down the painter, cut off his right hand, and then they smeared honey all over his body so bees would come and sting him to death. He then curses the mob and comes back to kill them all. Now, why does he keep killing? Well, anyone who says his name into a mirror is mocking him and brushing off justice that happened to black people so long ago. So he's making sure that people never forget his horrible execution. I don't know if murdering them with a hook is the best way to educate them, but I don't know, everyone has their methods. Coming in at number 2, we have the movie will be open-ended. There is still very little known about this movie, but what people have been able to dig out about it is that it seems like it follows the main character as he slowly turns into Candyman and ends up taking his place. We have already covered that a little bit earlier in the list. But what does this mean for the ending of the movie? Well, some horror movies will have happy endings where the monster is dead and everyone is able to go home happy, knowing that no one will ever hurt them again. But I have a different theory for this movie. My theory is that the full transformation of Candyman will take place, and the movie will end with the ritual of Candyman being more prominent than ever before. Maybe he will even have an eye on his next host. The audience will be sitting there with an open ending thinking, what will happen now? And coming in for the number 1 spot, we have the Jordan Peele Cinematic Universe. Having all movies tied together into one giant crossover is hot right now. We saw the Avengers do it perfectly, and a few other people have tried but failed miserably. Now, some fans speculate that this means the Jordan Peele movies will stretch into the same universe. That means the crazy body snatching people from Get Out and the underground clones that want to kill you and take your place in us will all exist next to Candyman. And that doesn't sound like a very friendly cinematic universe. I like the one better where Thanos killed half the people in the universe and then Thor cut his head off. That one made me feel nicer on the inside. All right, everyone, that is our list, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. If it takes me a little while to get back to you, I'm very sorry. I have a lot of these to do. And without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First up, we have Tommy, who is killing it at Warzone on PS4. Then we have Leo, who has a beautiful red collar. Next, we have Jasper, who is taking a great snooze. Right after that, we have Gigi, who is on the prowl. And to close it out, we have Cheetah, who's looking like a philosopher in this picture. All right, everyone, that is all we have for you today. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been your host, Shade Arena, and I'll see you guys at the theater when we're watching Candyman. Bye.